This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hey there, cat lovers. Welcome to 9 Lives with Dr. Cat. I'm your host, Dr. Catherine Prim, and I'm a small animal veterinarian and cat lover. So with this show, I like to explore exciting and interesting things and breakthroughs and fun. And this episode, I have something really cool to teach you about, and it is an app that utilizes artificial intelligence to help you know what your cat is feeling. If your cat is happy, it's kind of like a universal translator. So with this app, we can learn a lot more about how to keep our cats happy and healthy. I have Miche Priest with me today, and she's one of the developers of the app. And so she's going to talk with us about this, and we'll be right back after some Meowvulous commercials.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. cattreetray.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to 9 Lives with Dr. Cat on Pet Life Radio. Hi, Miche.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Hey, this is just fascinating. And as a veterinarian, it is so important to me that I understand the cues that my patients are giving me and giving to their owners. So tell me a little bit about artificial intelligence and the role it could play with cats.
Yeah, so we're really excited about what we're working on. I think that the best way to talk about that is to share some stories. So when we first started this project, there's in the vet space, you would maybe be familiar with the feline grimace scale. And that's a way for vets to assess pain in cats. And we looked at that and we wondered, could we teach a machine to be able to understand if a cat is in pain? So we're working toward being able to identify pain. Right now, we call it happy or not happy, because the not happy could be you wanted to sit on the couch and so you moved your cat and your cat's not happy because your cat was sitting there. Or it could be because your cat is actually in pain. So one of our early stories was with our machine learning developer who had never had a pet before. And then after looking at hundreds of images of cats, decided he needed a cat in his life, adopted Hobbs and was taking pictures. And the model kept saying he was happy. One day said he was not happy, took him to the vet, and they found that he had ear mites. And this is something that a new cat owner would not necessarily pick up on until the cat was really very visibly distressed, scratching at his ears, potentially to the point of bleeding. So that just got us really excited. That was our first real world use case of our technology working.
So let's talk a little bit more about the grimace scale, because yes, I am familiar with that because of my work, but my listeners might not be. Can you talk a little bit about the facial features and the grimace scale?
Sure. Yeah. So the grimace scale, what it does is it looks at, and there are grimace scales for multiple species. And this one looks at the ear positioning, the muzzle shape, the whisker positioning, and the eyes to determine. So if you think of, as a human, when you're in pain, you might close in your body, you would kind of express that pain in your face. And so with the feline grimace scale, If a cat is in pain, their ears may flatten. Their muzzle, instead of being round, would be kind of more flattened as well. And so it has a score of 0, where there's no presence of pain, 1 with moderate presence, and 2 with prominent presence of pain.
So it can measure things like the tenseness of the face or the position of the eyes, relaxation, that kind of thing?
Yes. In our model, we've drawn from the feline grimace scale, but it's not directly based on the feline grimace scale.
So this is an app, right? So it utilizes some of the technology that we all have in our pockets, right?
That's right.
So that's excellent. How did this begin? Whose idea, or how many people were involved in this idea? And of course, are they cat lovers? Go a little bit over the history.
Yeah, so Sylvester AI is a joint venture with Alta ML on the technology side for the machine learning, and then with Cat Healthy initially, which is a nonprofit, that they were the ones that just had this idea of, I wonder if machine learning could be used to help cats. And Cat Healthy, I think, has been around for 7+ years, and they've developed protocols for veterinarians. And then, so that's how it got started initially. And we worked together with them to develop the first model.
Well, that is really fascinating. So does it measure like symmetry of the face or temperature? I mean, what technologies are all involved in making this come together?
Yeah, so it's computer vision technology, and it uses neural networks to kind of identify the points in the cat's face. So first it has to detect that a cat is present in the photo. And then after it's identified a cat, then the machine will look for kind of the outline or the traces of the various parts of the facial features. And then I think the measurements are, the difference in measurements is what causes the impact to the score.
So how do you establish a normal for your cat? If I was sitting here with my cat and I thought he was happy, does it have to get to know the cat like maybe my Siri has to know my voice?
No, so we have trained it, and it works on most adult breeds of cats. It doesn't work on kittens yet. And then it doesn't work on breeds such as the Scottish Fold, because their ears are, you can't see the ear positioning, or Persians, because their muzzle is impacted. But you just simply take a picture of your cat. And then if your cat isn't one of those types of breeds and is an older cat, it'll be able to tell with 97% accuracy if your cat is happy or not happy.
Wow, that is really cool. So you mentioned the scenario where the cat had ear mites, but I think that there could possibly be a usage in other places, because cats are notorious for hiding their pain. And I know that's kind of a challenge for me as a veterinarian, and someone has to be awfully tuned in to their cat. I know, especially with things like dental pain, people tell me, oh, she's eating fine. And I look in there and I'm like, how is this cat eating? So I think that this is really cool. So are there places that we can find? Is it just in the App Store? I mean, how do we find it?
Yeah, so you can go to our website, Sylvester.ai, and we'll have a link to our app. And we also have a Discord channel that people can join. So we've found that, like you said, there are multiple use cases. So we have Discord is kind of like Slack, where you have different chat channels. So we've had people use it for monitoring after a procedure. So cats have been monitored after dental procedures, for chronic pain, also with end-of-life decision-making. So it's really hard when you get to that point in a cat's life and you've had that cat for almost 2 decades. They're part of your family, and you don't want to let go too soon, but you also don't want them to suffer. So if you see that your cat has good days and bad days, but then consistently have bad days, you can have that peace of mind knowing that it's okay to let your cat go.
Wow, that is a very useful. I have a lot of people question me, how do I know? Because with cats, you really don't. And you're right. You don't want to wait too long, because, what if they were suffering and they couldn't tell you? But now with this app, they can tell you. So there are some other things I really want to talk about, but I want to take a quick break and come right back. So we'll be right back.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There's no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms. And our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, radio.com, TuneIn, Stitcher, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to 9 Lives with Dr. Cat on Pet Life Radio. So I'm here with Miche Priest talking about Sylvester AI, which is the cool app that helps you know if your cat is happy or not. And we've talked a little bit about how cats are really, really brave about pain and discomfort. Even though they may not act like they are not sensitive to things, they are very, very well adapted to hide pain because in nature, only the strong survive. So that's sort of a survival instinct for a cat. But this app gives us a way to kind of translate that and find out. So you mentioned the end of life application. What are some other applications, maybe things that people don't really know that their cat might be going through? Or do you have any other case examples maybe?
Yes, there is one that just came in this week where the cat owner had multiple cats and was using the app. Most of her cats were happy, but one in particular was not happy. And later that night, she was getting ready for bed and her cat was nuzzling her and purring. And she thought, oh, for sure, he's going to be happy this time. And she took a photo of him and it showed not happy again. And she just, to her credit, she thought, I'm just going to check this out. She went online to her vet's website to book an appointment, the nearest appointment. And even though the weather was bad and, they thought maybe they should wait a day, she just felt really compelled to get her cat seen sooner. And then what ended up happening was he has FIV, which I believe is an autoimmune disease, and he was really severely dehydrated. So she was just super grateful to be able to bring him in and he could get the IV fluids, and some of the other, symptoms or complications were present as well. And so she was just so grateful to be able to catch something before, potentially it could have had a catastrophic outcome.
A catastrophic outcome? You've been watching my show and listening to my silly puns. So you said you guys have a Discord channel, is that right?
Yes.
Are there other ways that my listeners can find out more about this?
Yes, our website is Sylvester.ai. We also are on social media. We have a Twitter account, Instagram, Facebook as well. I think Facebook is where we're a bit more active.
So I have been kind of checking out your app and I think it's really fascinating. And I saw something on your website about becoming a tester. Is that still something that is available for my listeners?
Yes. So we've gone back and forth with, how to release this and how can we be responsible with this, because we really are wanting this tool to be used as a way for cat owners to be alerted so they can be proactive with cat health. So we do have a way where you can sign up, be a tester. So any kind of new features we build, you can have access to that before anybody else. And we can kind of get a sense of how people are using the technology before we release it out to the whole world.
And there are some exciting things coming. So how are the communities, like the Discord and things? Are people learning more about their cats and utilizing the app to just be better cat parents?
Yes, it's interesting to see some of the stories they share with each other. And then especially when they're going through common challenges with their cats, that they are starting to become sort of a support. And then you see them talk about their cats, but say before a procedure and then after a procedure. So everybody's kind of on the journey with each other's cats as they're going through these times where you just have so much uncertainty and you have decisions to make. And so this kind of helps with that decision-making process. process, but also to have the community to communicate with. And, people talk about things like cannabis products or things they've tried with behavioral issues. And then our app just kind of gives some more insights into how the cat is feeling. And it's just been really exciting and cool to see how this community has bonded.
So every day almost in practice, I have clients tell me, I wish I could ask her. I wish I could understand what she is trying to tell me while I try to make these decisions for her. And now we have that, and it gives us a little bit of insight into our little fur friends to know what they're thinking. So you said that this journey began with Cat Healthy. Is that a website or an initiative or something that my listeners might also be interested in?
Yes. So Cat Healthy, they were involved in the early stages, but being that they are a nonprofit and we wanted to be able to commercialize this so that we can further develop the technology. So we just have a hypothesis. What if we have the machine learning kind of figuring out the patterns and then having the cat information, health information tied to it? Like, what if we could detect illness early or something like that? So in order to, make it commercializable, we had to structure kind of differently, but they are still heavily involved, and there are feline specialists that are behind it, and it's cathealthy.ca.
Well,
and there's a wealth of information, and they're also on all the social media channels.
Well, I think it would be a really good usage of this for my postoperative patients because, we just don't ever know. We try to cover their pain, but some cats, just like people, need a little bit more pain coverage, or some maybe don't need as much. And so I think that this would be something that is extremely valuable really in my day-to-day. So is it downloadable from the App Store, or how is it going to roll out?
So we're rolling it out in phases. So we'll have, we're calling it the MVP Lite version, where you can take a picture of your cat and then get the kind of upward or downward trend. And then another piece that we're excited about is that monitoring of care in those kind of acute situations. And that will be available through the vet channel. We're calling it like via prescription, but more or less it's your vet will say how many days of monitoring they want. And then the pictures and answers to the questions can go directly to the vet for the vet to see at their leisure. But then if there is a downward trend, that alert can happen for both the cat owner and the vet, so that hopefully things can be caught early. So that vet application we're really excited about as well.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. So I want all my listeners to kind of follow this and see, what shakes out, and if it could have a great role for your own cat. So this is great. I really am so thrilled that you reached out to me and I was able to share this idea on 9 Lives with Dr. Cat. So we just really thank you for your time, Miche, for telling us about all of this.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. And I love this project so much, and especially seeing the stories that come in. So I really appreciate you having me here today.
Yeah, I'd like to stay in touch with you and hear more about the stories, because of course the individual stories of individual cats are kind of what we all really like the best. So, all right. Don't forget, listeners, that you can find them on Facebook and Twitter, and their website, Sylvester.ai. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So everybody go out and try to learn about this and find a way to get a universal translator for your cat to see if your cat is happy and healthy. So I want all of my loyal listeners to go out and have a perfect day.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.